Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I cover nostalgic, obscure, otherwise strange content. Today we are still traveling all around the world. Hopefully the SAG strike will end in SAG getting a good deal soon, and then we can return back home, or home for me. But for right now, we are still traveling, still trying to find the most interesting, obscure content from around the world. We've been from Australia to England to, where do we go after that? France to Mexico. And now we are here in Sweden. Hello, Sweden. I know we have some viewers that are active in our community from Sweden and the surrounding areas. I don't know why I said that like it was a tri-state area of Sweden, but you know what I mean. All of our Nordic friends. Hello. Today we are looking at a piece of media from 1971 from Sweden. This is Swedish Lord of the Rings. I'm going to try to say it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to say this wrong. Sagan Ringen is how I say it. That's how it looks to me. Lord of the Rings, the Swedish adaptation from 1971, long before the most famous Lord of the Rings adaptation came out of Hollywood. We have this half-hour special, which is here on YouTube in 2 parts. Shout out to the YouTube channel Pengi for providing this for me. I haven't seen this yet. We're just going to watch it together. This is in Swedish with English subtitles, just like when we watched La Belle et la Bête. I'm going to do my best as a non-native speaker. And we're just going to go. Let's go. Did I take a thumbnail picture yet? I don't think I did.
Det var för väldigt länge sedan I världsdelen Midgård.
Nope, I tried to put it on 2x speed. I can't read the subtitles that fast. Let me go back.
Jorden var inte så full av människor då som den är nu.
These watercolor paintings are beautiful. Music is beautiful. Let's know the general Lord of the Rings story, perhaps. Maybe you're not a fun nerd like the rest of us, but once upon a time, the world was called Middle Earth, and there were all kinds of dwarves and elves and high fantasy.
Trollkarlar och hugor, men också människor.
I personally always jived with the hobbits because hobbits are small and like to stay home and read. We like to stay in the little hobbit holes. I can relate to that. We're indoor cats.
På den tiden kunde också blommorna och träden och fåglarna tänka och prata och samarbeta med alla varelser.
I love how at the time it says at the time the flowers and birds could speak. And it's just like, what happened? What happened between then and now? I want the birds to talk to me. That would make me feel like a Disney princess.
När hoben Bilbo fyllde 111 år ordnade han en stor födelsedagsfest.
Oh, wow, we've got some green screen. I mean, they're clipping through the table, but this was 1971, so also, like, could be worse for 1971. Does anybody remember Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny? Huh?
Bilbo gav bort många presenter till vänner och bekanta.
All right, so we have Bilbo Baggins, my boy.
Hober ger bort presenter när de fyller år.
Hobbits give presents on their birthday instead of receiving them. That's very wholesome.
Mitt under festen gjorde Bilbo sig osynlig.
All right, Bilbo Baggins has a ring. The ring is not in focus. Where's the ring? There it is. Pretty big ring.
Med Frodo talade trollkarlen Gandalf om den här ringen.
All right, so now Frodo has the ring. They don't specify, but Frodo is Bilbo's nephew. He asks Gandalf, and Gandalf says, a long time ago, the elves made rings, and they gave people a lot of power. Gandalf is like, hey, are there any markings on it? And Frodo's like, nah, man. And so Gandalf throws it into the fire and is like, but just you wait. This is already such an interesting mix of, like, hand-painted art and live action.
En ring att sämja dem. En ring att främja dem.
One ring to find them all. One ring to bring them all in darkness behind them. This part is just setting up the lore of, like, the rings and the power and the different people that have the different rings.
Därför kallas den mästarringen och härskar över dem alla.
One ring to rule them all. One ring to find them. I feel like I'm gonna, like, in a hobbit right to my recording room. Hobbits seem like good people.
Mörkrets kung heter Sauron och han tappade ringen för länge sedan.
All right, and the most important part of the lore for right now, we have Sauron, the Dark Lord, who lost the ring and desperately wants it back.
Men aldrig, Frodo. Aldrig ska han få tillbaka den. Den ska förstöras.
So the ring has to be destroyed before the Dark Lord can get to it. So Frodo goes on a little road trip with his friends.
Sen gick de över älven väster om Hopsala vid en smal bro.
This feels like accidental ASMR. The narrator's voice is very calming, and oh boy, the green screen is back. It's giving welcome to Pooh Corner. I've heard it said that because this was released back when Tolkien was still alive and he really did not like this version. I wonder why specifically. I tried to look it up and I was reading that he didn't like the guy that made the film. I couldn't really find like concrete answers to why he hated it so much.
Frodo hörde hovslag och hoberna gömde sig i mörkret vid sidan av vägen.
Uh-oh, we're hiding in the woods.
Det såg ut som den svarta skuggan av en häst, ledd av en annan svart skugga.
Oh no, the shadowy horse. That's creepy to look at. I don't know. I know it's just shadows, but it's unsettling.
Skuggan rätade upp sig, drog sig bakåt, klättrade upp på hästskuggan och försvann in i mörkret.
The out of focus transitions really do go on for quite a long time.
Det är alver som kommer, sa Sam.
I'm being told that there are elves. I don't see any elves. Okay, I see some elves. Some rather opaque elves. The song sounds so calming. As a general rule, though, I don't trust random women I don't know singing in the woods, but it is very calming. It just reminds me of Hocus Pocus, you know, where Sarah's like, little children, I'll take thee away. And it's like she's luring them to their deaths. Sounds lovely, but it's a trap. We are still singing. Okay. I will say, for any snark that I can give this, it is, as an art, from an artistic perspective, I respect it more than, like, The Hobbit Part 3. Remember when it was just, like, it was just one big sword fight and CGI and that was it? Like, definitely fuck off to all of the, you know, snobby filmmakers that are like, oh, Marvel is not real cinema. That's not what I'm saying. But, you know, it does feel like there's more creativity than some of the kind of empty CGI movies that don't really have any... They just kind of feel thrown together. You know what I mean? This feels like someone did these paintings, someone did this music. Like, it just, I don't know. It's got a charm to it.
För resten av färden bestämde man sig för att undvika alla vägar.
The lack of, like, sound effects is also really throwing me off. Like, they just kind of walk, and they're walking on this backdrop, and there's no, like, Foley going on. So, like, the part of my brain that's, like, a annoying filmmaker is just like, it's like they're floating.
I skogen var det mörkt och fuktigt, och hoberna såg bara träd och åter träd.
All right, now we were in the forest. I will say, pacing leaves some things to be desired. I just had a whole mini monologue from the narrator about the dampness of the trees in the woods.
Träna var raka och krokiga, vridna och lutande, tjocka och klunsiga.
I don't remember how much of this is taken from the actual book, but it's not so much that the narration is bad, it's just that this kind of narration to me works better in book form, and when you adapt, you need to adapt some things for the different medium. As somebody who's an avid reader and a filmmaker, I've never been one to begrudge an adaptation for making necessary changes when it comes to truly adapting the story for the medium that you're working with, not the one that you started with. Anyway.
Bortsett från en eller annan droppe fukt som föll, hördes inte ett knäpp.
Sorry, I genuinely feel like I'm going to be put to sleep. And I'm not even necessarily saying that is a bad thing. It's just...
Men plötsligt var hoberna ute på en rund, öppen plats.
It's kind of reminding me, like, sometimes I'll listen to, like, those sleep stories. Like, there's several YouTube channels that do sleep stories for those of us that have chronic insomnia. And it's like, I'm getting those vibes where I'm just like, ooh, this feels like something I would put on to fall asleep.
Frodo och hans vänner blev allt tröttare.
I'm feeling tired too, boys.
Merrys ben stack ut ur en annan springa som klämde till om midjan på honom.
Oh no!
Frodo startade iväg och ropade på hjälp.
Boys, he's stuck! And we're running, and it's clear that we're running in place. Now what? Now what's happening?
Hej dong, klingelong, rindeding dong dillo.
Sorry, I'm 12 years old.
Hej dong!
The narrator said dong, and I'm very immature. And then also, I read the last part of this translation as dildo. That's not what it said.
Vet du vem jag är? Jag är Tom Bombadil.
Don't you know who I am?
Det hördes ett våldsamt knarrande och knakande när den andra sprickan sprängdes upp och Pippin for ut.
Oh god, is he okay?
Sen slöt sig båda springorna igen.
Okay, he's okay. Alright, we are leaving Rivendell.
På vägen anfölls de av svarta ryttarna.
Oh, so we don't see them get attacked. We're told that they get attacked. And that Frodo gets injured, but we don't see it. Alright, that's fine. We don't need to see that part. Doesn't seem interesting at all.
Och plötsligt såg de en snövit häst. Den skimrade genom kvällen och travade framåt.
Oh, that poor horse. It's like, what am I doing here?
Frodo kände hur kylan i armen och sidan försvann lite grann.
Alright, so Frodo's been magically healed? Okay, and that's end of part 1. Let's go to part 2. This aired in 2 parts. So, like, I don't know if anybody remembers actually seeing this on TV. Did y'all have to, like, tune in on, like, 2 separate weeks? Like, what was the situation here? Because these are pretty short parts.
När sommaren var på väg in i höst vandrade 4 hober iväg med en ring.
Alright, so now summer has turned into fall, the hobbits are still journeying, and now they're going to the council. One of their adventures occurred in the old forest. 2 of the hobbits dozed off by a large tree next to a river. Oh, so this is just recapping what we might have missed if we didn't see the last one. But we did!
Snart var de framme vid vadstället över floden vid alvkungen Elronds hus.
Alright, we've made it to the house of King Elrond, the Elven King. What am I looking at? I can't see anything. Are we getting real pictures of woods now? It's such a strange mix-up of the live-action shots and the art.
Vid den långa sluttningen till vadstället.
Jeez, the cuts are so rigid.
Fly! Fienden är över oss! Rid, Frodo! Rid!
Again, we're hearing about the bad guys. We're not seeing the bad guys. Poor Frodo is about to get thrown off that stationary horse. That definitely real horse.
När Frodo vände sig om såg han hur svarta ryttarnas hästar stegrade sig ut i vattnet.
I feel like this just feels like a very interactive audiobook, you know? It doesn't really feel like a movie.
It feels like a movie.
But if you would pitch this to me as like an audiobook plus, I would probably think this was pretty cool.
När Frodo vaknade upp låg han i en säng i ett rum.
Am I seeing the ceiling? I'm seeing the ceiling that Frodo's looking at.
God morgon, Frodo, sa en röst.
Hey, it's Gandalf! Gandalf's here!
Du är i Elronds hus och du har sovit i 4 dagar.
Oh, the green screen cracking around the hair it's struggling. All right, so he wakes up Frodo and Gandalf. He's like, hey, your boys are all good. They're just worried because you've been unconscious for a little while.
Under kvällen och natten firade sedan hela Vattnadal Frodos uppvaknande.
None of these actors have any spoken lines. I wonder if that was disappointing for them. I hope they had fun.
Jag har levat under 3 tidsåldrar i Midgård och jag såg hur Sauron nedkämpades.
Elrond's like, back in my day, we had real problems.
Och du ska veta att Gandalf är nästan lika gammal han.
And he's like, I'm old, but Gandalf is old as dirt, man. He didn't say that. He may have implied it, though.
Och både Frodo och Bilbo berättade om äventyren de råkat ut för när de haft ringen.
Bilbo and Frodo are like, man, some crazy shit has happened since we got this ring. I hope you liked my Lord of the Rings abridged version.
Den stora, den farliga ringen. Saurons ring.
The one great, dangerous ring.
Då började han ta reda på allt som fanns att ta reda på om ringen. Och snart förstod han att Bilbo hittat den enda.
Bilbo's like, oh, damn, you got Sauron's ring? Shit.
Mitt enda hopp var alltså att sända bud med fåglarna.
My only hope was to send a message with the birds. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I think it's been a while since I saw, like, the really famous Lord of the Rings, so now my brain is just like, wait, was this in the original? I don't know. So again, Gandalf is telling us his story. We're not really seeing much of it.
Skuggfaxe kallar männen i Rohan honom för.
I like how they're clearly using the one horse over and over again for all of the horses.
I dagsljus skimrar hårremmen som silver.
This kind of reads like a dungeon master who's got too many notes. Hopefully some of my D&D fans will appreciate that. Although the Elven King's outfit is kind of sharp. They put some thought into that one. It's sparkly. It kind of looks like tinfoil, but it's sparkly.
Det bestämdes att 9 personer skulle ge sig av till eldsprutande berget i Mordor.
All right. We've got to take the ring to Mordor. There was a lot more blood and gore in the version that I grew up with. This version is just like, let's go to Mordor to throw the ring in. The version that I grew up with is just like blood, and Frodo's like, why me? I can't anymore. And Gandalf's like, you shall not pass. And it was a whole thing. You guys remember.
Det är Sting och du får säkert användning för det.
Sting? Sting is here? Not the musical artist Sting. It's a different Sting.
Och molnen hängde lågt över ängarna vid Elrons hus. Bilbo stod insvept i en mantel på trappan tillsammans med Frodo.
Oh, this music. We've got background music now. It's kicking in.
Allihop väntade på Gandalf och till slut började Sam gå igenom packningen för 50:e gången.
I'm convinced that they all would have died without Sam. And you can quote me on that. All right, and they're going up the mountain. The narrator is telling us every single thing that happens on the way up the mountain. And now I can't see. And now I see a building.
Och den dag då Frodo äntligen skulle kasta ner ringen i elden. Gandalf gick först. Sen följde Vitstige, Frodo och Sam.
Oh my god, they're telling me the order of which they all... I can see what order they all went up the mountain in.
Legolas, som såg bäst, gick sist.
And oh yeah, Legolas is there. Gotta love that. Huh? Hang on, it just ended very abruptly. I missed something. Okay, so it's telling us we don't even get to see him throw the ring in? Okay. That's the end? Okay. All right, that's the end. Thank you to the person who went through and translated that for us. That was interesting. It was very mellow. Which isn't bad. I guess I need more mellow in my life. Let me know what you guys think, Lord of the Rings fans. I will leave you guys here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. Everything you do to support this channel means the world to me. If you're new here and you're a fan of nonsense, maybe consider sticking around. I post nonsense all the time. Shout out to my members. We have a members tab now. Our members help pay the bills. So thank you for supporting me and what I create here. And remember, my name is Avery. I'm a YouTuber if you say so, because thanks to you guys, this is technically a YouTube channel. Bye, everybody.